Don't fucking roll on the floor again. Right, pardon me French. I did a reading this morning that I got cards that are not exactly positive. Okay? But, you know, we need to face facts. There is change in this world and we have an opportunity. Now, I will read through the cards that I pulled this morning, but I am going to pull some clarifiers now. And I'm pulling them from the Elemental Oracle deck, if I ever get things in the right place. Because I want to see what these come out with. What elements are at play, where we're going, what can be done. This is attempt number 2, because my beautiful goldstone pendulum decided to roll off and disappear under the sofa. And today is not a day for trifling with me. No, I am not in the mood. And I do feel like that energies at the moment are definitely playing. Let's see how quick we can get these pulled. I've decided to play with the smallest area that I possibly can. Oh, hold on, let's just check that. Is there a reason that one stayed? Yes. Okay, oh, that's one card. Oh, there's more than that, but let's see. No. No. It's 2. Okay. Okay, I'll do. Right, that's 2. Again, astrology energy is still pretty out there for the next 2 weeks at least. Well, let's say second week of February, it may well settle down. But right now, there are things going ahead. I would ask people not to be distracted by what is being done in terms of political power. And just remember what they are hiding and trying to keep out the limelight. And if you haven't picked up by now, what they are keeping out of the limelight is being kept out of the way because they are in there. The more that is hidden, the more it's exposing how bad those files are. A lot of people saw that this was a possibility of what would be happening. I've said it before and I'll say it again. For those who claim to be Christian, just remember Jesus threw the money makers out of the temple. He divided religion from politics. He then became a political pawn. So all of you preaching the Bible or think you're preaching the Bible, go back and read over that. He got sold out for 30 pieces of silver. Look at how much money you're being sold out for. And I can tell you that that money is not going back into your nation. It's going into bank accounts in the Middle East. It is not for your benefit. And I will also say, for those of you who want to stick your head in the sand, unfortunately, some of us realise what's going on. These are the same games that were played in the 1930s in certain countries that led to war. Read up. Look at what the message is in the Bible, not what people are preaching. Those that you elected on the basis of them having Christian values, please note, these are the people who have monetized Bibles and put their names on it. If you bought into that, well, congratulations. You've been feeding a machine that could destroy diplomacy, democracy on this planet. And everything that is happening may be happening for a reason, but you still have an opportunity to speak up before your voices are silenced. Because if you're not watching the news, if you're not picking up what is being done, more fool you. Right. And if I lose another viewer because of that, I really don't care at this precise moment in time. I've got to a point that I'm trying to keep my channel away from being... I try hard not to give energy to this area. But maybe it's a time at the moment, I think, to be honest with you, realising my Mercury is opposite, the transit in Mercury and Venus. I have the Sun today opposite my Mars. So maybe it is a case that this is what I need to do today. That I'm being pushed to speak and ask people to wake up. Okay. Here are the cards. Okay. No, we'll go through these cards first. Okay, so these are the cards this morning. Right, first card out, puppeteer. Exploitation, apologies. Well, at the moment, I think there's been a lot of exploitation as to what events have been. And when you look at this, what does the puppeteer try to do? The puppeteer puts on a show by manipulating puppets. And they manipulate the puppets to provide you with the show that they want to give you. Oh, it's not exploitation, it's explanation, apologies. But again, they're trying to pass the buck, trying to cover up what's actually been done. The hunter. Sure-footedness. Predestination. But what I also get is what the hunter is. They hunt their prey. And that is basically what's going on. And what the puppeteer is doing. Anyone who doesn't stand with them is against them. We then got the Herald. Small regrets, longing. The only regrets these people have is what they're doing is not being accepted. They long to be able to cover up what's happened. They long to be able to provide a narrative that everyone's going to go along with. You see all the vipers, all the snakes? You got their hair that is jumping across them. You've got the eye in the middle. You've got the moon at the top. The moon in terror uncovers the secrets. The eye there is keeping an eye on the snakes. And the hair is being clever enough to not be able to be caught up in this. Then we've got the alchemist. Balance, invention, destruction. This goes back to the puppeteer. But what they're trying to do is to cause destruction. They're trying to invent a balance that suits them. They're trying to invent a truth that works for them. They're trying to manipulate and create something that they need to be stopped from doing. The miser. Stubbornness, inflexibility. This represents someone very strongly. The miser. The one who hates. The one out for revenge. Stubbornly hanging on to power because it suits them. Doing what they want because all they know is how to bully people. And it doesn't make them strong. It makes them this, a miser. Someone who's hated, despised. And look at them in the spiral. Throwing out bricks. Watching the world crumble. But then this is who I hope a lot of people are going to be. The waker. Through all the cloud and all the smoke and everything that they're putting out, be the eye in the centre, be able to see through it. Awareness, reflection. Note what they're doing, note where they start. Because it is a start. Be aware. There is no boundary which these people will not cross. There is no law that will keep them in check. Beware of what puppeteers are being played. Look at who's been passed to be the one inflicting pain, because realistically they're not. It's the puppet master who's controlling it all. Maybe someone needs to cut the strings on the puppets, so for once they can actually stand up for people who they are elected to represent. Okay, cards then. The cards that I've got. Let's see. I don't know which card to read first. Right, now I'm going to do this first, because I don't feel these cards are in the order that they should be read. Tell me which order these cards need to be in. Which is the first card? Outcome. I'm just going to read. I'm going to read out what the book says. See what it comes out with. Right. Okay. So first card we've got is atoms. And it says building. Now, interesting enough, there's an image on there of a person in a boat who appears to be collecting orbs or planets. But what I see is a person collecting money and trying to get away. Right. So, atoms. Everything is connected by the same building blocks of matter. You are electric and vibrating in motion. Being stagnant in your beliefs and growth is unnatural. Building and changing is natural. There is room for intimate variety. Interesting. The word of power, atomos. The Greek word which means undivided. This is a card of where you need to be united. You need to be showing a united front, because at the moment what the puppeteer has been doing is division. Many ancient cultures suspected the world was made up of building blocks that couldn't be seen. While the elements of earth, air, fire and water were part of their thinking, many also thought that even these formidable elements were constructed from something. The ancient Greek philosophers suggested around 450 AD that atoms existed. They were infinite, and there must be some kind of different kinds to reflect the object that was the end results. Indian and Islamic scholars also reported on the ideas of atoms, but it wasn't until the 16th and 17th century that the notion became a serious field of study with Bernier, Boyle and Newton. The last 200 years has given us clearer ideas of what atoms are made up of. Each atom is composed of a nucleus and one or more electrons bound to the nucleus. The nucleus is made up of protons, subatomic particles with a positive charge. Again, positive. And neutrons, subatomic particles with no net charge that are slightly bigger than protons. The idea that we are all connected, or that everything is part of a whole, is somehow born out of quantum physics. It is not just some romantic ideal, but is something solid. So again, just remember, undivided, connected. Right, this is what I need to do. And this guided how to get through this without getting completely worked up. So 27 breath. So again, there we go. What have we got on this one? Now we got a heart, but the image on the other side I'm not even going to cover. You look at it and you make your mind up as to what's happening there. Focus on your breath. Allow it to guide your actions and flow. Fear often means breath holding. Let that all go. There is a place for slowing down your breath and being mindful of it. Take a deep breath and rethink your strategies. Take a deep breath and pause a few seconds before exhaling, which will train you to give yourself a little bit more time and space. The emotion of fear or feeling stress often sends hormones rushing into the body that speed up breathing, or shock will cause you to hold your breath in the form of rapid inhalation. If you realize that this is a behavior you regularly do, try to be mindful and relax. Stop and take a deeper and slower mindful breath, which will give you more action and more flow. Okay, and then the last card, Oceans, Bravery. Go forth and explore. You won't see much if you keep the shore always in sight. Be brave in your choices. This is not the time to be fearful. Someone who is close to you has a hidden side, and it is best to be mindful of this in your decision making. We know a lot about life on land, but we know very little about life in the world's oceans, which comprises of 71% of the planet. Here we go. The oceans are a source of great richness in the form of marine life, and their very existence influences everything from the weather to where humans settle and live. Ancient seagoing cultures such as the Vikings and the Polynesians had an intimate relationship with the oceans, tides, trade winds and stars, which enabled them to navigate the huge blue expanses. The bravery of such cultures, leaving the sight of land, venturing and navigating outwards towards often unknown destinations, is considerable and a testament to the human spirit of adventure and curiosity. Ocean-based magic, like all water magic, concerns itself with the cycles of movement in the forms of stagnancy and flow, prosperity and emotional balance. So, as I said, the cards this morning gave me a very definite idea of what's going on. Like it or not, that is my interpretation. These cards together, we need to remember we're all living beings. We have the same particles and atoms in us, no matter how we look. And for those who are using hatred to divide and weaken us, I am hoping that there is enough wise and and awakened individuals who are not blindly following what media is putting out. Or what their leaders of power are putting out. And the big example I'm going to say is an event that happened at the weekend that I will not mention, but it's something that everyone should be aware of. What did your leaders do with that? How did those leaders try to change the situation? How did they try to get it to play out? Interesting enough, look at that picture. Look at the two puppets. Just saying, just saying. Do you really want to be tied to that creature? That poor miserly soul? Look at the bricks. Who's been pulling down stuff? Who's been having to put their name up and things just to make them feel like they're a big person? Wake up, guides. Wake up. Be the waker. Let's just put it another way. The miser doesn't work for you. Stubbornness. It's about getting their own way. It's about doing their own thing. Just remember, if you don't fit into the circle, if you don't have the resources that the miser needs, they don't have a need for you. It's time to wake up, guys. Make sure they're working for you. Make sure they're protecting you. Because at the moment, all they're doing is protecting themselves. They have no interest in anyone but themselves. But as these say, inside, we're made up from the same anatomy, same molecules, made up of water. We breathe exactly the same way. And if they're putting themselves above you, it's to benefit themselves, not you. Thank you.